want to show our viewers what happened in the seconds before the collision. Please be aware that this is the moment before impact. The aircraft, the Bombardier, had changed its direction to a different runway. You can see the helicopter to the left, Bombardier to the right. Moments later, a large explosion. Both aircraft are now upside down in the Potomac. We've just received audio from air traffic control as the passenger plane collided with that Army helicopter.
Did you see that? 472. American 3130, go around, turn left end 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
Lucy 5347, go around, climb maintain 3000, flight
3000, heading, go around 3000, Blue Streak 5347.
Blackjack 3, can you return to base? Blackjack 3, proceed directly to Glebe. I need you to land. I need you to land immediately. Can you go to Dulles for a few minutes? Muscle 7, proceed due westbound, contact Dulles Tower 120.1. Muscle 13, can you go to Baltimore?
19 aircraft were asked to land at different airports just after 9 o'clock local time last night. This is the conversation, we're told, happened between those two aircraft. A few minutes before landing, traffic controllers asked the arriving commercial jet if it could land on the shorter runway 33 at Reagan National, and the pilot said that they were able to do that. Controllers then cleared the plane to land on runway 33. Flight tracking sites showed the plane adjust its approach to the new runway. Less than 30 seconds before the crash, an air traffic controller asked the helicopter if it had the arriving plane in sight. The controller made another radio call to the helicopter moments later. PAT-25 passed behind the CRJ. Seconds later, after that, the two aircraft collided. David, we are getting the impression from the Kansas senator that all souls have been lost on both aircraft.
Yes, Kay, I think the words of Senator Marshall from Kansas will be the words we remember for a very long time from that press conference. He said, when one person dies, it's a tragedy, but when many die, it's an unbearable sorrow. He went on to say he wished there was much more they could do. It's really hard when you lose probably over 60 Kansans at once. It's a tragedy that we've lost them. Until that point, the only suggestion of fatalities had come from the US news network CBS, reporting that 18 bodies had been recovered from the river, but it would appear that there may be no survivors, and that would make this the most tragic air disaster over the US Capitol in more than 40 years. We've been processing a lot of information coming to us in the last couple of hours. I think the most critical bit has come from the fire chief and the mayor updating us at that press conference, confirming that it was 8:48 when the alert was sounded about an incident involving a commercial aircraft and a helicopter. The fire chief said just 10 minutes later, at 8:58, the first units arrived on the scene and began rescue operations. About 300 responders working as we speak, boats and divers working as part of a rescue operation in extremely rough conditions. It's very cold and windy in Washington. The temperature is expected to drop further during the night. It's just gone 1:30 in the morning here. And he says it's an active operation that will go on for many hours. So I suppose we've got three things happening, maybe four things happening at the same time. We have a search and rescue operation ongoing. There were 60 passengers on the American Airlines Flight 4 crew, and there were 3 military personnel on the US Army helicopter, all, it would seem, unaccounted for at this moment of time. In addition to that, there is clearly a recovery operation to some extent underway now too, if what we are hearing from the senators from Kansas is correct. We also know that the Federal Aviation Authority and the National Aviation Safety Board have already arrived at the scene and commenced their investigation. They will be desperately seeking to retrieve the black box recording from those aircraft. The plane, we understand, is divided in two, upside down in the water. The helicopter, the Black Hawk helicopter, also upside down in the water. So it's a very complex scene. So we have a recovery operation in addition to a rescue operation. We have an air investigation underway, and we have the political response as well. The President himself being briefed around the clock now in the Situation Room, where he is expressing real concern about how this was able to happen, how this helicopter found itself in the flight path is so close to Reagan National Airport. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, also saying that he's monitoring the situation and praying for all of those who were on board and their loved ones. And I think that perhaps is the greatest part of this tragedy, that they were on approach to the short runway 33 at Reagan National, coming to the end of their flight from Wichita, Kansas, and would have had people waiting for them already at that airport. And those people, of course, are now dealing with the fact that their friends and loved ones may not be coming home.